Linda researches everything. She was constantly like, if we're going to get a pram, we're going to get a pram that works for Ade. You know, that Ade's going to be able to push as well. If we're going to get an ergo sling, we've got to work, or a sling that to carry the baby. We've got to find something that works for you. And everything you were looking at, it was always looking
I mean, it might
stuff.
sound like I was thinking of you. Maybe I was being selfish and just wanting you to take the burden, you know.
So that you weren't the only one pushing the pram.
Exactly.
But yeah, it was always that research, and it was always, you know, just thinking, well, how's it going to work for Ade in a wheelchair?
Yeah.
And I never think about myself in that way. I'm so used to accepting that this world is not built for me and just making do. And she gets more angry about it than I do, you know. She's like, no, it's not right. This has got to work. This has got to happen. And you know, you've got to be able to push your baby, and you've got to be able to take him around. And it just made, I just thought, that's so nice. But
I guess the thing is, like, for you in life, you've managed to adapt your life so that it works for you. But then this is a whole new thing coming in that you have to learn. Like, you don't. I guess for me and Linda, we see ourselves, like, we see in a very clear way how we are meant to carry out our parenting duties. But for you, it's another, and I know you would have to do that all the time throughout life with all your traveling and stuff as well. But you're having to assess those roles and adapt them and see how you can make them work.
You know, you're right with that, and I think it's something that I've just taken on board naturally from years of experience.
Yeah.
But one of my biggest fears was always, could I be a good father in all the ways that an able-bodied person would be a good father? Would I be able to, you know, will my child enjoy playing sports with me because I can't play football standing up? Or, you know, would I be able to go for walks in the park with Bolla? Or if Linda isn't here, you know, how would I cope with him on my own? And I was always really worried. And each day I kind of pushed myself. The first time I went out with the ergo sling on my own with Bolla, I probably didn't tell you, but I was really, really nervous about it.
Don't worry, I could tell.
Really nervous. You know, well, I was thinking, what if I fall out of my wheelchair? You know, what if Bolla starts screaming and people start looking at me and thinking that I'm not fit to look after a baby? You know, all of that mad judgment that I'd managed to not worry about over the years because it was about me suddenly came back to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's definitely been an adventure, and it's been a learning curve, and it's kind of almost starting again for me in terms of my emotions and how I worry about people perceiving me being a father, you know. And I think the fear, maybe, I don't know whether it's just me, but I think the fear for a lot of disabled parents is, you know, that will be judged by able-bodied parents as not being capable of looking after our children.
From my own experience, I've got to say that whenever I went out with a newborn, I also had that fear. And I wonder if that's something that's a universal thing that most parents just don't talk about, that fear of my baby will cry, I won't be able to soothe them. Or I have to pull out a dummy, which for me was before having a baby, I was like, I'm not going to use a dummy. And then I had a baby and I was like, I need a dummy. You know, I'll have to pull out those tricks, and then people would judge me for them. And I think actually that's such a huge part of the conversation anyway, because we feel like we're being judged before we even step out the door. Yeah. And I wonder how that, you know, that is a thing that already exists. So when you're then in a wheelchair as well, I think, I wonder if you would have felt those things anyway had you not been in a wheelchair, but it's just magnified even more. And for you, that focus is because I'm in a wheelchair.
Yeah, no, it's a really, really good point. You know, I've got used to people staring at me anyway. And then I guess once now we have a baby, it's staring for different reasons.
Yeah.
And
Because
so
they think you're a grown man with a teddy bear.
yeah.
Do they?
That's because the first time I went out with Bolla in the sling, he was wearing this teddy bear outfit which we'd been given as a present, and went to the local newsagent, and the lady in the newsagent, who sees me all the time, when I came in, she was like, "Oh, how cute, you've got a teddy bear." And I was like, no. And then Bolla stirred, and then she realized it was a baby, and she screamed. She went, "Oh, it's a baby! Oh my God, it's a baby!" And I was like, how could you? Why would you think?
That's my son.
Yeah, it's my son.
Yeah.
Why on earth would I be going out in the streets as a
teddy
grown
bear
man
in a sling
with a teddy bear in a sling, holding it and cradling it? And she said, "Well, you don't know. People these days, they're into all sorts of things."